So let's get across to our legal practitioner to get his perspective on what transpired. We've got Mr. Onyekachi Ubani, who is a former second vice president of the NBA. He was also chairman of the NBA Ikeja branch. He joins us on the line this morning. Good morning, Mr. Ubani, and thank you for joining us. Well, having listened to both parties in terms of what transpired, under what circumstances, if at all it's allowed, is the military allowed to do what they did, getting over, raiding Daily Trust's office?
I don't know under what circumstances, especially in democracy. Immediately democracy was restored back to Nigeria. The promise of the military is to follow the path of constitutionalism and to obey the rule of law. No matter the situation, if there is any time the editors or journalists go contrary to the law, there are processes and procedure under a constitutional democracy on what to do. But under no circumstance can the military invade the premises of a newspaper without a valid court order. And now that we are even hearing that the commander-in-chief of the military, that is the president of the country, was not even aware. That again also speaks volume, especially in democracy. So it's important we know the situation under democracy. We are not under the military. Under the military, there are some things that can be done contrary to express provisions of the Constitution. But when you are in democracy, the Constitution is very supreme. So if there are issues that have to do with falsehood or doing things that is contrary to the laws of the land, then you have to follow the path of the judiciary. There must be a valid court order for such an invasion, which I don't think happened in this circumstance.
You know, because the editor there of Daily Trust also did say that previously some government officials, that's what he used, said that they had reached out to him talking about their unhappiness about some of the information that was published before this then happened. So when we say that the president is not aware, we don't know which of the government officials. So if government officials reach out to him and then the military then goes in, can we exactly take that away, that the government, perhaps, this happened under their watch, clearly?
Well, this happened clearly under their watch, as you rightly pointed out, but there has been denial now that the commander-in-chief is not aware of the invasion. It's very important we note that. But I tell you this, most times there is this processes to gag the press. It happens all over, even in America. But the point is that the press must, as much as possible, remain responsible, and as much as possible, publish facts. They are there to disseminate information, and they are doing that under the cover of the Constitution. It is important we know the role of the press under democracy also. They are there to inform. They are there to educate the citizens, you know, especially on the happenings in government and the policies of government. So nobody has any right whatsoever to gag the press from dissemination of that particular policy information, because it's under the Constitution. They are empowered to do all that. So if any government has been threatening them or be asking them to do certain things that is contrary to, factual reporter, then it is wrong. But as I said earlier, the presidency has denied ever been having knowledge of this invasion. So we must be able to situate it appropriately. The military has no right under civilian democracy to do what they have done, and we're asking them to withdraw and release the journalists and return all the things they have taken from, and even pay compensation for this particular invasion.
Mr. Ubani,
Mr.
Ubani,
yes.
If I may come in here, but you also heard what the military said is their reason for coming to the Daily Trust office, that they had some sensitive information that had to do with the deployment of troops. According to the military, that is very sensitive information that they ought not to be publishing, because it will be to the disadvantage of the military and to the advantage of the enemy.
Maybe they could have used the Nigerian police, as I said, we are in a democracy, to do whatever they want to do, but it must not do without a court order. No matter the sensitive information they want to publish, the manner of invasion and what happened took place is probably is using a sledgehammer to kill a fly. we must not in any way overdo it. We must not in any way authorize it. We must not in any way give approval to the explanation they have given. There is sensitive information. I have listened. I, as a citizen, I have most of the time listened to the military authority talking about the Boko Haram and their exploits. Most time they reveal some sensitive information that I personally, as a civilian, feel that the military shouldn't be revealing. Most times, most of the things that the people are publishing are things that are being said by the military themselves. They have most of the time under the social media and even in the media, normal press, release some sensitive information that I, as a person, I have felt that, look, this information shouldn't be released. They shouldn't even give any knowledge on the processes and ways they want to take in order to take over wherever they want to take, especially in fighting this urgency. Most time they have revealed these things. It's a public knowledge most times. So I still think that if there is any such thing and they want to prevent it, they must still follow the path of the constitutionalism. Invasion in a military style under civilian democracy is not allowed. And we must say it. We must say it because from now they begin to do certain other things and begin to infringe on people's rights if we don't speak out. And I'm very happy that Nigerians are speaking out against this current invasion. They must follow the path of constitutionalism. That we must begin and we must continue to emphasize.
Okay, the bit about verifying whatever information you have with the security operatives before you go ahead to publish, shouldn't that also be considered? And then, if the presidency has said they don't know about this, from where did that order, is it possible to say who gave the order to invade the Daily Trust offices?
Yeah, it's very important. The first question, the first leg of the question is that we advise our journalists and to maintain part of responsibility, especially when it has to do with the issue of information that has to do with our security. I mean, the security of the country is supersede every other thing. We must also advise them to be very sensitive and responsible, even in democracy. But we must also say the second leg of the question is that it is doubtful, it is surprising to learn that this invasion took place without the approval or knowledge of the commander-in-chief. That again speaks volume in democracy. The military must not operate as an institution. They are now under civilian democracy, and they are now under the authority of the president of the country, who is elected to actually administer the country. So you cannot do anything under civilian democracy without the commander-in-chief, especially concerning the military institution. So it is surprising to learn that the presidency is not aware of this particular invasion. And so we must also, probably then advise that it is not appropriate and proper for the military to operate as an institution, different from civilian authority in democracy. If they think they have been doing this previously without that knowledge, we must emphasize that knowledge that this is purely democracy. We're operating now, and they cannot do anything without the commander-in-chief. If they do it, then they are now in military, authority, which would be very, very wrong. We are now under democracy.
In other words, they need to tell us who gave the order then for that to be carried out. And secondly, can Daily Trust sue in this circumstance?
Of course, Daily Trust has a remedy in law. Now, the military must explain who gave that order. If the presidency now has said, look, they're not aware of this particular plan to invade and the invasion itself that took place, then they should give us explanation who gave the order. And it's very dangerous for them to begin to act unilaterally without the consent of the presidency. As I said earlier, we're in democracy, and they must operate under civilian authority. Now, the president has the right, they have the right to go to court if it is found out that order did not even come from the presidency, and there was no valid court order for the invasion. There was no valid court order. You can only do that by a valid court order in democracy. So if that is known, they have the right to enforce their right in court. They have a remedy in law.
All right, thank you for talking to us this morning. Mr. Nikuchubani, former second vice president of the NBA. So there you go. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.